June 22nd of 1918 has been described as the day the clowns cried.
The disaster which overtook the Hegenberg Wallace circus train snuffed out the lives of some 70 circus people and injured many others. It happened at a railroad tower called Ivanhoe on the Michigan Central between Gary and Hammond. On June 21st, the circus had played to large crowds in Michigan City, much like these scenes. Its next performance was set for the next day at Hammond. The circus was transported on 3 long trains, much like this one. The second section carried 4 old wooden sleepers on the rear. Now, most of the performers and some of the laborers, who were called roustabouts, occupied those cars during the overnight trips from one town to another. At 3 o'clock in the morning, the train stopped at Ivanhoe, supposedly for a hot box, a bearing which needed lubrication. This was in the last months of World War I, and it was known that an empty troop train was following the Circus Extra. Later information showed that the engineer of the troop train, Alonzo Sargent, had had little rest in the previous 20 hours and had been taking drugstore pills for a kidney condition. The brakeman of the circus train, Oscar Tim, who once lived in Niles, went back to the stopped train to protect it and flag down the following train. But that train did not stop. Having passed several stop signals, Tim lit a fusee and signaled once again that the train should stop. But nothing happened, and without slowing down, the train smashed into the rear of the wooden cars, turning them into kindling and killing almost everyone on board. What happened after the crash was inevitable. The wreckage caught fire, and many who were trapped and who had not been killed outright burned to death. Circus people many times were itinerant, and records were so sketchy that it never was determined the exact toll of death, but it was somewhere around 70. Later in the morning, a relief train took the injured to St. Margaret's Hospital in Hammond, where 8 doctors were needed to treat the injured, mostly broken bones and burns.
Needless to say, there was no performance that day or the next, but on the 3rd day, the circus resumed its performance at Beloit, Wisconsin.
The show had lost few animals and no horses, so that with the help of acts which were loaned by other circuses and a brand new tent which had been ordered before the accident, the schedule continued. Only one of the 25 acts which had performed before the accident was able to continue. The old show business axiom, "the show must go on," was carried out as victims were buried in a mass grave called Showman's Rest in Woodland Cemetery at Forest Park, Illinois. Indeed, that tragic June 22nd was the day the clowns cried.